Hello, hello, Barb Pitcock here. I want to welcome all of you to this special training. I have been training on this topic for 29 years, but today I'm doing it on a little different level. Let's just imagine that you and I have a cup of coffee, we're sitting down at the table, we're mapping out your next 90 days. And I'll tell you, in this day and age, we live in a microwave radar, 100-mile-an-hour world. People don't understand delayed gratification. People don't have patience. They can barely watch a full TikTok video. Like they're like squirrels. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere. And it makes it so noisy in the industry for people to actually sit down, map out their dreams, their goals, their plan of action, and more important than anything, to take action and execute on those goals and dreams, knowing that they have a formula for success, knowing that if they do the right things long enough consistently, they could achieve financial freedom. Now, I've used this formula in so many businesses. My husband and I owned a professional maid service. We've owned 2 very large dance schools, network marketing companies, essential oil bottling private label manufacturing company, retail stores with 5 locations in malls, Airbnb, real estate, whatever it is, the formula works if you work it. But there are a few things that most people don't understand. If I'm out back and I'm trying to bring water in from a cistern well, let's go way back to 100 years ago, and I'm pumping and I'm pumping and I'm pumping and I'm pumping and no water is coming out, most people say, the well's broke. I got to go somewhere else, find a better well, find a better water, find a different source. When in reality, most people quit pumping right before huge success. And I had a mentor that took me and just shook me, literally told me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. In fact, sometimes I thought it was a little bit blunt. I mean, I would say, well, you don't have to be so harsh. And what he told me is it would be a lot easier if I just didn't care. He said, if you want to do this, go home, sit back in your lazy boy recliner, put it in L for loser. You can stay broke for the rest of your life. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But I listened to people who were making more money than I was. I did the things that other people were doing so I could experience the lifestyle that other people were experiencing. And I don't have to make an income claim. This isn't in representation of any company or any business model. But I not only put this into practice, I taught it to my own children who have taken multiple businesses and scaled those businesses to another level. So whether you're in real estate, direct sales, retail sales, car sales, lending, whatever it is you do, I want you to think about these 8 steps and how you can put them into practice in your life. My mentor said, you're 90 days away from your dream. 90 days. I mean, I could see 90 days. I would sacrifice anything for 90 days if I knew that there was a chance that I could have success. And my question to you is, what are you putting off? What are you delaying? What are you afraid to commit to? What is it that you don't believe in? Why do you not follow up with the things that you start? Why is there so much unfinished business? Why do you not help the people, the customers, the promoter, the person that's your renter or tenant? Helping the people is a big part of this. And then lastly, creating a system where you can be duplicated so you can actually scale that business. So let's get started. I want you to grab a notebook, a blue pen, blue ink. I don't know why. That's the way I was taught. White paper, blue ink, and let's get started. So I'm going to teach you the 8 steps that I learned in 1996. Then my husband and I published them. For the first time, we took the information that we had learned and republished it in 1998. And we have been teaching the same thing for 29 years. Now, your success is not going to attack you. My success does not mean that you're going to have success. Some people have to pump longer. Some people have to switch wells I mean, that does happen sometimes. But if you do the right things long enough consistently, you can have, be, and do anything that you see other people succeeding at if you follow their system. And that's the problem. Most people don't have a system. So this system is what we were taught. It's what we teach others in every business model. And my mentor said to me, if you're not willing to follow these 8 steps, let me save you the time, energy, and money. Put the tape back on your little company, your little business, your little title, your education, whatever it is, send it back. And if you can, get a refund, because it's not going to work for you. And I was like, I should take this seriously. That first business my husband and I did together, we had spent $1,049 that we didn't have on products that I didn't even know how to use. We got in the nutrition industry together as a couple in 1996. And I had been in 5 direct sales companies before our marriage. We never had a prenup agreement, anything about direct sales. But one thing I knew, I was never doing it again. And we were taught this system in a company that was a 12-year-old company, hadn't really ever hit momentum. A leader came in, taught the system, and we watched a $12 million company go to $150 million in a matter of 18 months. Fast forward, my husband and I were a part of an acquisition in 2012. It was an older company. They were doing about 17 million in sales. We came in as trainers, promoters, independent distributors, not owners. That company went from 17 million to 150 million. They were featured on Success Magazine that year. And I do believe duplication, not of me, not of you, not of any great leader, duplication of a simple system is the key to any company's success. If people can't duplicate what you're doing, if they need you at the end of the line, you've got to take people out of the equation, you guys. There's so many. You can download an app and make money tonight on Uber, on Lyft, on DoorDash, on Rover. Like, you can literally go walk somebody's dog and make money from an app on your phone. People don't have the patience to go sit through a 3-hour training. They don't want to have to take a long course. They just want some success. And the sooner that we can get people success, the longer they're going to stick. Their belief goes up. Hey, this might work for me. Whether you're getting them to lose a few pounds, whether you're getting them to sleep a few more hours, whether you're getting them to have a little better, more energy, whether you're helping them save money on their credit card transactions or look younger with your cosmetic line. People buy results, you guys. They buy results. So how do we help people get results? Well, first of all, what result do they want? I'm going to start with step number 1. This is the one step that literally changed my life. What do you want? Define your dream or your goal. If you're not a business builder, you're just a customer, you still have dreams and goals. You want better sleep, look younger, feel better, save money, get out of debt, invest in crypto, whatever it is people are doing. They want some desired result. So let's help them with step number 1. And this is the very first step of the system. It is the most important step, defining your dream, and not just a wish, not just something that you would like to have, but it becomes a magnificent obsession. It needs to be like, that's mine. I'm going to have it. I'm going to have that 22 acres in the country. I'm going to have that house with pillars on the front of it. I'm going to have that book I want to publish. I'm going to have that $100,000 check I donate to my favorite charity. I'm going to have that credit card debt gone. I'm going to have that perfect spouse that I'm trying to attract into my life. Like, people get involved in companies because of how they feel. People buy your product because they're buying you. They're buying you. And if you don't know what you want, if you don't have a burning desire for its achievement, if you're not passionate, full of purpose, have enthusiasm, have belief, Nobody's buying anything from you. And if they do, and you get lucky and they buy it once, you won't have the repeat customer if they don't feel a result, or maybe that you're contributing to them, a culture, a community, and it starts with you. You've got to be on fire. And when you're on fire, people will come from miles around to watch you burn. I remember one of the top earners in my company, he said, "Barb, you are smoking like a burnt rubber boot." And I was on fire. Everybody I talked to would say yes. They all wanted to buy. They all wanted to join. They all wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to come to the event. They wanted to come to the retreat. They wanted to go to the national convention. They would literally drive 17 hours, get on 3 planes, pack their motorhome full of people because we were obsessed. And you guys, people lose that fire and they can't figure out why they can't get momentum going in their business. You don't only have to define your dream and goal, you have to keep it burning. You have to reignite it. You have to work every day harder on yourself than you're working on your business, because that fire, that burning desire, that magnificent obsession, if you will, that is the most important part of any business venture you ever do. Jim Rohn says, character is when you follow through on your venture, your business, your goal, long after the excitement of the beginning is gone. So how do you keep yourself excited? For me, I love to use dream boards. I use Pinterest. I use my Apple Photos. I make little movies. I go drive around and look at things. Last week we were at Kansas City for my daughter for the 4th of July. And before we left, I said, hey, do you guys want to go drive past that acreage that has the fishing pond and it has the big, building that we could build our business out of, and it's just a few miles from you? And to be honest with you guys, most people don't want to do that step. It's a hassle. Oh, it's 10 miles away. That's not even near where we're at right now. We missed that on the last exit. My secret to this step is, if I'm going to church, I drive through the nice neighborhood, even though it's out of the way. If I'm going to the lake, I pull up Zillow and I look at all the beautiful homes on the lake. If I'm going to do a presentation and I have somebody with me, I ask them, what excites you the most? Let's go drive through the car lot. If I have a Zoom meeting and it's not in person, I bring out of those people, what is it that you want? And when they tell me I want to build a house and I'm driving by a shed that has a house in it, even though that's not my dream, I send it to them in a text message. When I see a black Escalade and someone on my team wants a black Escalade, I send them a video. I would Photoshop them in the picture, because here's what it says in Think and Grow Rich. Here's what it says in The Greatest Salesman Ever. Here's what it says in The Magic of Thinking Big. Here's what it says in The Strangest Secret. If you want people to go do something, ask them what they want and show them how to get it. They'll move heaven and earth to make it happen. And all you have to do is get out of their way. Teach this step. Step number 1, defining your dream with a burning desire for its achievement. And reteach this step. I don't care that technology has changed. I don't care that most people are social sellers, that customer acquisition is the way of the future. Yes, it is. But who's getting those customers? Who's finding those influencers? Who's leading that company? Because if they don't, from the top down, have a dream with a burning desire, and they're not teaching their front top salespeople, whether it's in my store in the mall, whether it's in my manufacturing business, whether it's in the lady that's cleaning my properties to put on Airbnb, I'm building her dream. Because do you know what? When I build her dream big enough, she wants to come to work. She wants to show up. She's thinking about building her own home and how many houses she can. You guys, people want a result. People are selfish. They're tuned into one radio station. What's in it for me? And when you speak that language to the people, you build the people will build the business. So what is it that you want? When is the last time that you really took time to do this step? I would encourage you to stop this recording, take out a sheet of paper, number it 1 to 50. I would ask you, what's 50 things you want to accomplish in this lifetime? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? And then I would ask you, what do you want this year? Is there 6 months left in the year? What could you accomplish by December 31st, right before the new year? What did you say you wanted in January, but you haven't even gotten close to it? There's still time. My mentor told me you're 90 days away from your dream. 90 days of consistency. And that's what we're going to talk about in step number 2. Step number 1 has to be so real, so vivid, that you have it on a note card. You have it on your visor. You have it on the back of your toilet. It shows up as your screensaver. It is on your computer. It's on your steering wheel. It's next to your microwave. It's plastered on your fridge. It's got to be everywhere. Because when you see things every single day, and if it's a car or a house, your picture's in it, not just a picture of someone else's house. You go take a selfie in front of it. I'll tell you a quick story. Dave and I had our cars repossessed. We were in a bankruptcy situation. We didn't even have enough money to get to convention. And in 1996, we stood at the Rosemont Theater in Chicago, Illinois. And there was an Infiniti Q45. And there was a Provost motor coach. There was a Corvette on a trailer behind it. There was a Dreamboat. Like, all the top leaders of this sales company brought their toys and they parked them all over in the parking lot. My mentor was so good at this, building other people's dreams. People went outside during the breaks. They took pictures, whatever. There was a Q45 Infiniti. It had a big gold watch right in the dash of it. Now, mind you, I had a red Aerostar minivan with no muffler. It wouldn't even make it to Chicago. I had borrowed my mom's car to get to Chicago. My friends all flew. I had $250 cash on me. My husband and I were taking the fiber shakes and the cookies as meal replacements. We were skipping meals. We bunked up with some people. And maybe not who I would normally have want to bunked up with, but we did whatever we had to do to get there. And Les Brown was on stage. And he said, it's not over until you win. Define your dream. Get a burning desire for its achievement. Look at it every single day. Be teachable. Be coachable. Put yourself in the picture. So my husband, he's a little introverted. He's very quiet, but he's the most successful networker ever because he listens more than he talks. Take note of that. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Use them in proportion. Me, I had to learn. I had to learn to really listen to people, listen to learn. I had to be teachable and coachable because I thought I knew everything. I had been in 5 companies. He had been in 0. But I listened that weekend and I did step number 1. And when we went to the break, I went outside. This is back in the day of 35 millimeter cameras. There was no iPhone. There was maybe a bag phone if you were rich. Your console, kind of like a upgraded CBD, right? Real staticky, very expensive. There wasn't technology. I want to tell you guys, technology changes. Companies changes. Brands change. People don't change. People want a desired result and they will do anything to get it. They will do whatever they have to do to take care of their family. And when they know if you do this, you get that, they'll do anything. People will do anything. You look at what people do to survive. They will lie, cheat, steal. They will do anything. If you can do it morally and ethically, and you can become financially free, and you're listening to someone teach it, and they're on stage, and you're bouncing checks in a bankruptcy, borrowed your mom's car, bunking up with people, can barely afford to eat, your back's against the wall, you probably should listen. And I did. And I did what they said. And even though I had tears in my eyes through the entire event, in that parking lot that day, I laid out on the hood of that car like Tawny Katan in the Whitesnake video, right? My husband was laughing. Good thing there was no alarms on cars back then. And he took the picture. And I said, that's mine. I'm going to have it. And you guys, your results may be different than mine. But I looked at it every single day. I worked like my life depended on it. I made commitments. I shared that product. I followed up. I helped the people that I brought on my team, and I taught them a duplicatable system. And these 8 steps, in the next 90 days, I got a letter from that company that said, we claim you for life. And that company's not in business anymore. So no product claims, no company claims. This is a completely generic training. We claim you for life. Go pick out your free car. $750 a month is the payment. You get to the next level, it's going to be $1,500. Dave and I, with a bankruptcy and no credit and our backs against the wall, drove to Kansas City 4 hours for us to even find a nice car lot. We lived in the boondocks, and we drove off the lot with a car seat and a kangaroo. We had 2 babies under the age of 2 and 1 on the way. We drove off a $65,000 car, completely paid for by that company. Now, you guys, manifestations happen when you're sold out, when you're all in, when you have definiteness of purpose, when you put your blinders on, and you've got to look at these dreams and goals on a daily basis. Write the affirmation. It feels so good to be driving a brand new Infiniti. It feels so good to not be renting anymore. We manifested this very house we still live in today. Dave and I live way below our means. We have never changed where we lived, no matter what we've made in 23 years. But we were renting, and we hated renting, and our credit was screwed. And so we were like, what can we do? I will tell you guys, when your income goes from back against the wall, bouncing checks, running 5 businesses, utilities turned off, car repossessed, to you 10 timesing what you used to make, you have choices. It gives you options. Money isn't everything, but it does give you options. We stayed living in that same little town 29 years. We just celebrated 30 years of marriage. And now we have vacation homes in Oklahoma and Airbnb rental properties and stuff. But we never forgot where we came from. And we were able to take care of our past mistakes. When your debts are high and your funds are low, you want to run, you want to hide, you want to give up. We found a way to make it right. We found a way to increase our income to 10 times everything that we had ever dreamt. And we were investing in real estate. We were investing in land and properties because we had options. And I'm telling you, you all have options. It's just a matter of you doing step number 1 and then step number 2. Make a commitment. Make a commitment. You're so wishy-washy. You're going to do this a little bit. You're going to do that a little bit. And I know a lot of people represent a lot of brands in this day and age. There's a lot of social sellers that are in everything. And yesterday, as I was working with a consultant, actually developing a influencer model, developing a way that people could promote a product and get paid. You know what he said? He said, most people today are like squirrels. They don't want to sign a contract. They don't want a bunch of rules. They want to be able to represent anything they want. They don't even care about residual income. They want to sell it and make some money, sell it and make some money. And he said, the reality is most influencers, and that is the way of the future, he said, they don't even want to talk about your plan. They don't want to get a plan. They just want to share a selfie with your product and get paid. And that's good. All you need to do is find a few influencers. But if you want to make true long-term residual income, big income that comes in month after month after month, whether it's a royalty on a book, an Airbnb property, your car is on Turo, you join a direct sales company, whatever it is you do, make a commitment. When the funds are high, everything's great. When the funds are low, people want to run. They want to quit. They want to give up. It's funny how that works. You know, the RX that cures everything, that vitamin that cures everything, I learned it a long time ago, vitamin N. It's money. It's sad, but when people make money, they feel better. They have more energy. They think better. Believe it or not, their relationships get better. Some people say it increases their mood swings and their sex drive. Well, why is that? Because when we have fear, false evidence appearing real, when we think we're not going to make it, when we don't have enough money, then we want to give up and quit. I'm going to encourage you, do step number 2. Make some commitments. that you know this amount that you did in step number 1. This amount, you know it like your name. What's your name? My name's Barb. What's your number? Your number needs to be, what amount do you need to net from this business? What amount do you need to keep every month that will help you? Because this training is about you making money. Money's not everything, but this training is about you becoming financially free. And what I have found is that when my husband and I did this with a property last month. We have this property. We're like, if we sell this, we know we're going to get X amount. All of a sudden, it's the night before people are coming to be in this house, try it out, rent it, buy it, whatever. I had done this treatment in the bathroom on the countertops, and the epoxy ran into the drain. You guys, I wanted to give up every good thing I ever started. We had 9 people coming for a 4th of July holiday, and none of the sinks would drain. My husband was exhausted. We wanted to quit. Like, we're never doing this again. But instead, we went and bought new drains. We went and bought new plugs. We went and bought new faucets. We did whatever we had to do to get it rented so that we could cross that finish line by the deadline. In business, in my network marketing career, I remember there was a time Dave and I were shooting for this highest rank, and we put a chart on the wall, and we literally needed to fill like 60 some new customers or distributors. Like, we had this whole chart drawn out, and it was 3 days till the end of the month. And I was like 50% of the way there, but not close to hitting my goal. Like, I think, not exaggerating, I think we needed like 30 people in 3 days. And I wanted to give up. I wanted to blame the company. I wanted to blame the comp plan. I wanted to blame my lazy team, my front line that didn't do what they said they were going to do. I was having one of the worst months I had ever had, but 3 days till the end of the month is never too late to turn it around. I had to get out of my funk and into the vortex. Like, I had to be manifesting what I wanted instead of sabotaging my success. And we did it. I could tell you 10 times that I did that hitting a rank in a direct sales company. I could tell you 10 times that I did that at a market, wholesaling private label products that I sell. I could tell you 10 times that I didn't have enough students coming to my dance school to pay the overhead, and I increased and had 25 people enroll in a class, and it was like the most profitable class. It is all about you making a commitment, attracting what you want, not focusing on what you don't want, but actually focusing on what you want so that you manifest that amount of money, that amount of distributors, that amount of new customers, that amount of new students, that amount of tenants that rent your property, that amount of you winning in life. Like, you've got to have a chart with a target. There's a great book called The Thinking Cure. I love it. I love the author. He talks about your guided missile. This book Dave wrote during the worst year of his life. And I'll tell you why I love the book. It's real, it's authentic, it's raw. How do you pull yourself out of loss? How do you pull yourself out of depression? How do you pull yourself out of trauma, tragedy, sorrow, grief, financial ruins? Like, how do you? You've got to focus on what you want, step number 1, not what you don't want. And you've got to make commitments. What are you willing to sacrifice temporarily so that you could be free for the rest of your life? Dave and I, back in the old days when you had to drive around and do meetings, we got our calendar out and we said, how can we put 30 people in? And I had 3 babies. I mean, I knew I had to stay home and work the phone. And Dave said, I'll go here, you do this. And then some nights we got a babysitter and we both went separate ways. But I will tell you, we never hit a mark, that we never missed a mark that we planned to hit. And if we did, can't believe I messed that up. If we did miss the mark and we knew we failed today, tomorrow we said, what can we do to get further ahead? Like, if we needed 10,000 in volume by the end of the month and it was the 30th and we were at like 7,000, we had to assemble a mastermind team. We had to say other people's efforts, leverage. If I had a brand new customer and they loved the product, I would say, who do you know that loves to sleep better? Who do you know that wants to look thinner? Who do you know that would like to be younger looking? Who do you know that would like to increase their sex drive? Like whatever we were selling, I would say to the person that loved it, what excites you most about this? Do you know any other people that might like this? And I would leverage other people's list, other people's influence. I would take that person, get them to do step number 1 and say, how much do you want to make by tomorrow? And when they told me, I said, all we have to do is find 4 people just like you, 4 people just like you that love better sleep, that want more energy, that would like to lose some weight. Sometimes I was selling other things like essential oils that, who do you know that would like to do their own private label brand? Sometimes it was me selling furniture in a parking lot on a corner. And if somebody bought a triple hutch or a table when Dave and I were in the furniture business, I would say, do you know anybody else that might need a table? This is hand rubbed. It's solid oak. It's rock bottom prices. Do you know anybody else that wants a good deal? We've got to move these by the end of the day, or we've got to load them back up and take them home. And guess what, you guys? When we made a commitment, anytime, I don't care what I was selling, I was the master closer. And the way that you become the master closer is not always the technique. The why is more important than the how. I needed to buy baby formula. I needed to make my car payment. I needed to pay the teacher at the dance school. I needed to pay the payment on the rental. I needed to cover the cost of the booth at the trade show. So I always start with step number 1, defining what the goal and the dream is. And step number 2, making commitments that I will do whatever it takes. Write that down. I will do whatever it takes. You say, I don't know if I will. I don't know if I want to make a commitment. Do you know why? Because you don't have a magnificent obsession and your dream is not big enough. It's not the company. It's not the product. It's not the comp plan. It's not your team. It's you. Because when you want something so bad, it wakes you up in the middle of the night. You jump out of bed in the morning. You want to drive out of the way to go look at it. You can't stop Googling it. You print pictures. You screenshot it. You think about it. Then what happens is when you move, it seems like God moves. Like when I make a commitment and I say, this is what I'm going to do, it's like all the right people line up. When I sit in fear and I don't do step number 1 and I'm leery about making a commitment, I'm kind of like a ship without a rudder. I'm just floating around, just hoping that things work out, praying that things work out. I pray a lot and I manifest a lot of answered prayers. But I will tell you, if I want a beautiful yard and I pray for the Lord to bring rain and give me a beautiful yard, but I don't go out there and mow it and weed it, like success is not going to attack me. People say, oh, it's all God's anyway. It is. It's all his money. It's all his people. It's his children. I believe in all that. But I believe that when I make a commitment to do good, to plant good seeds, and I'm asking for something and I'm working towards it, I really believe, and this is just my own belief, that when I move, he moves. And when you don't commit and you don't draw a line in the sand and say, this is what I'm willing to give up, this is what I'm willing to sacrifice, this is how long I'm willing to work towards this, this is the effort, this is my calendar, this is my time blocking, like your priorities show up in your checkbook, show up in your calendar. You do whatever's most important to you. So why not define what's most important to you and say, this is going to be mine. I'm going to have it, and make some commitments so that you can actually have those things. Do you want to do it 5 years from now, or do you want to do it 90 days from now? Let me tell you the secret. Success loves speed. The minute that you make a commitment, success loves speed. The minute you start taking action, you get a little bit of momentum. Think of it. You want to lose some weight. You have no success in the first 2 weeks. You're like, I want to give up. But then you stay with it, and all of a sudden there's this fat swoosh where all of a sudden you're like, I lost 3 pounds. Now you're like, I'm doing it. It's working. See, the wheel of success goes like this. A little bit of success creates some confidence. A little bit of confidence gives you more activity. A little bit more activity gives you the results. And when you get the results, that's the success. And then the confidence, and then the activity, and then the results. And pretty soon it's turning so fast. I wish I had a whiteboard to draw that out for you. I'll put it in here. You have got to take action in order to get your confidence up, because every day that you don't make a commitment, you say, oh, I always set that goal, but I never do it. I always say I'm going to do it, but I never do it. Probably never going to do it. I don't even know why I'm setting goals. And the more times you start and don't complete the goal, the less you believe in yourself. And I know a lot of people that have no self-confidence. They end up being mean. They don't they want you to have success, but not that much. Like, they don't believe that they can do it, so they're not happy and celebrating when you do it. Folks, all you got to do is define your goals and dreams, make some commitments, and then share the things that you love and use. And it doesn't matter what you're selling, that success will gain. It will gain momentum. So step number 2 is make some commitments. Sit down with your spouse or your significant other and do this exercise. Say, what would we you'd be willing to give up temporary if we knew we could have long-term freedom? Dave and I made commitments. We stuck to them. We were so tired. A lot of nights we cried. I would have anger spurts. Dave would have anger spurts. We wanted to give up on every good thing that ever happened to us, but we didn't give up because we believed, and we were following a system and a mentor. You guys, mentors are so important. If you don't have one, get one. Somebody that will breathe life into you every day that you want to quit. Those people, they are the reason why I became successful. And I'll tell you the other reason I became successful. I committed that I would never let my haters win. All the people that said it couldn't be done, all the dream stealers, all the rejection. I had to be successful just to prove them wrong. And I believe we became wealthy because of the people that told us it wouldn't work, because we were not going to let them win. Les Brown said, it's not over. No, it's not over. He said, leap and the net will appear. And then he laughed and said, some of you are laying there and said, I already hit the sidewalk. And that was me. And I was crying big, huge crocodile tears in the nosebleed section because I couldn't even afford to be down in the front seats. I was one of the last people to sign up to even get to the event, but I was one of the first people to take action. And a couple of years later, I was in the top 3 earners of that company. And there was only 3 at that level. They were older than me. They were smarter than me. They had more education than me. They had more years experience than me. They had a better financial background than I did. But you know what? Work ethic beats talent every single time. And nobody, you hear that thunder? That was a sign. Work ethic trumps talent every single time. And there was nobody that could outwork Dave and I. So step number 3, you've got to believe in your product that you're selling. You know, Zig Ziglar tells the story about a kid that he mentored and trained, and he took this kid and taught him everything he knew, and they were selling pots and pans. And this kid knocked every door. He got presentations. He couldn't sell a set of pots and pans to save his soul. And one day, Zig went with him, and he said, that was marvelous. You did so good. I don't know why none of these people buy. He started asking him questions. He said, do you love the product? And the kid said, well, it is kind of expensive. And he goes, but do you love the product? Zig wanted to know. And the kid said, I don't own a set. My wife and I can't afford it. And Zig said, that's why you can't sell it. Because people know a flake when they meet a flake. And if you don't believe with conviction in what you're selling, find something different to sell. Because you should know that you know that you know that you believe in this so much. When I go to market and I sell the products that we manufacture, I know that if I had nobody and everyone quit my company, if I had nobody private labeling this product, I could walk down the street, and if there were 10 people, I bet I could sell it to 8 because I know it's going to make them better. I know they're going to love it. I know it works. I know that it is the best formula on the planet for that particular problem. And I can't make the claim. I can't say what it does. All I have to do is just say, try this. You're not going to believe it. And you're going to, what you should notice right away, this is what you're going to notice. And don't buy from me. Go walk around the show. Call me back tomorrow. Tell me how you feel. You guys, I can sell it to anyone because I believe in it. And every one of you should have something that you believe in so much that everybody would buy it from you. I believe I'm the best host with my properties. And if someone's traveling where I have the property, nobody's going to make them feel more at home and love their vacation more than I do. I believe in myself. I believe that people are buying me, and you need to believe in yourself. Believe in the product. Use the product. People buy people, not just products. And the only way for you to believe in yourself and your product is to be using the product and be working harder on yourself than you are on your business. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. There is no way I could pour this out if there was nothing in it. You yourself can't give what you don't have. How are you going to lead a team? How do you think anyone is going to buy your product or join your movement if you don't believe in the product and yourself? So you got to get a mentor. You got to work on your dream. You got to work on yourself. You got to make daily commitments. You got to keep your commitments, and you got to always be growing, not dying. You see those flowers back there in that vase? If I love lilies, I love fire gazer lilies. I love the big lilies, and they're beautiful when they bloom. But if I don't put new sprigs in there, they start to stink. If I don't put new flowers in the vase, it gets yucky, smells rotten, gets a little like almost moldy on the stems. How do you keep it fresh? How do you keep it new? How do you keep people motivated? Dreams, goals, commitments. They're using your products. How do you keep your customers? Well, you always got to be putting new flowers in the vase. You got to have new blood in your business. You got to have new customers, because like or a center or anything else, you always have people coming in. You always have people leaving, people coming, people going, people joining, people quitting. People quit churches. People quit gyms. People quit marriages, for God's sakes. Why do you think people will join you and you're never going to have anybody quit? Quitting is part of it. I've probably had more people quit than most of you will ever even sell. True story. I've probably had more people quit than most of you will ever recruit, sponsor, or sell to. So if that's true, how do you constantly get new blood? Step number 1 was defining your dream and getting a burning desire for its achievement. Step number 2 was making a commitment. Step number 3 was using the product. And step number 4, you've got to build a big list. Your network is your net worth. You constantly add to your list. Even if you fail at something, you go to a market, it's a horrible market, you make zero. Let's say that you enroll a new person and they build a big team, but then they quit your team and go somewhere else. Let's say that you start with a company and the company goes bankrupt and you lose everything that you ever built. When I was in my 20s, making over $40 a month, one day checks are bouncing, everyone's gone. Never. But you know what? I did the right thing in a right way, and I built my own personal brand. People knew me. They knew I was authentic. They knew I was real. They knew they could trust me. And people go where they can know, like, and trust. You get people to know you, like you, trust you. The bigger you build, the more good you do, the bigger your list, the bigger your network. And if customers leave you, they will come back around. Even if promoters quit you, they will come back around. Even if you have a renter that's not happy, maybe they go somewhere else, they may come back around. It doesn't matter what business you're doing. I had people leave my dance school, go join a different dance school. Later, they came back around. You've just got to keep getting better. Don't get bitter. Get better and build a bigger list. Build a bigger network. Your network is your net worth. Every day, be adding new people that you're meeting. How do you meet new people? Facebook groups, networking meetups, going live. Now they have Threads. There was Twitter, then there's Threads, then there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's Snapchat. You choose where you want to build your network. But it's easier, simpler, and so much more duplicatable today than it ever was before because of all the tools that you have in your arsenal. And I'm not going to tell you how to build your business, Believe it or not, some people still like to build belly to belly. And I love people. But when we experienced that pandemic, we were launching a company and we did over $1 million in sales without ever leaving our houses, rarely had a meeting. I'm telling you guys, if you can work smarter instead of working harder, be teachable, be coachable, and build influence. Build it on every platform you can, but pick one that you're really going to focus on, because you can't shoot 5 rabbits with one gun. And my mentor told me that when people were saying, oh, I do this other little company on the side. And it's okay, because nowadays people do 1 million things. But he said, you can't be really good at anything if you're trying to do 10 things. Focus, focus, focus. And plus, your list of people, your network. I mean, what do they think of you if you're in a different gig every 30 days? Like, what do they think of you if you're constantly doing something new all the time? There are times when you have to do something new. I've had to start over 3 times. 3 times I've had to start over. And you know what? I had to be authentic. I had to be real. I had to share my story, why I believed in what I was doing, why I believed what I had was the best product, the best opportunity, the best whatever I was selling, and add to my list. Doesn't matter how many times you fail. Doesn't matter how many things you've tried. You've met new people every day in that experience. Take that as your advantage. Who did you meet that might be a lot like you? Because we attract people that are like us. I attract motivated people. I attract big dreamers. I attract big leaders. I attract people who love on people. You know what I don't mix well with? People that are not nice. People that sabotage everything you build. Like, for some reason, me and those people just don't meld. And you know what? You'll find that when you get better, you'll attract better people. So anytime that I did make a mistake with this list and network, I had to be authentic and say, you know what? I was wrong. I made a mistake. Let me tell you what I learned and move forward. I don't care what all you've tried. I don't care what all you've failed. You can always be 90 days away from financial freedom. Cut your expenses, lower your outgo, increase your income. Take a step back. You know, there are people right now that can't even pay their mortgage. There are people right now that are losing their cars. There are people right now that can't afford Formula. And I used to be one of those people. I share my story with complete authenticity. I tell them what I found, what worked for me. And you guys, it was in the worst economy ever. It was 1996. Oil was $7 a barrel. We only think this was a bad economy. You know, gas today is more than it's ever been. Eggs, milk. If you don't think that people are looking for financial freedom, they are. And don't be afraid to sell that while you're selling whatever it is that you're selling, because people need money like they need oxygen. And no matter what I'm representing, getting customers for products, that's what I do every single day of my life. I never hesitate to think, what if this person is the next Barb Pitcock? What if they are not telling anyone? They're bouncing checks. The wolves are at the door. They can't sleep at night. I always try to find those people. And do you know how I do it? I ask them what excites them. I talk about their dreams and goals. Ask a person what they want. They'll tell you. And then they'll tell you every reason why they can't have it. And if you can share with them a product or a plan, share the product, share the program, share the plan, whatever it is that you're selling, this list is going to grow and grow and grow and grow. And I'll tell you why. Even if they say no, you can say, it's okay if you have 100%, you know, if you have no interest, it's 100% okay with me. But do you know somebody that might? Add to the list, get referrals, ask people to share your post, ask people to share your live, do a giveaway if they share your live. It grows your network. It increases your influence on whatever platform you are building. So number 4, get a written down prospect list. You know, you've got it with all your Facebook friends. Put it in your planner, put it on your calendar. And then once you do, step number 5 is share the plan, share the product, share the program, you know, get the customer to see, because you're going live. You show the results, people buy results. You show a before and after. You share that your sleep app shows that you slept better. You share that you saved money on your travel. I don't care what you share, but share the product, share the program, share with the people that you are doing it. Sometimes they're buying you, and you're going to do it with or without them, but you would love to have them be a part of your team. If you're sharing an opportunity, if you're sharing a product, share what the product did for you, that you would love for them to experience the same results. In fact, why would they want your product? Well, maybe there's a low risk. Maybe there's a money back guarantee. Maybe you will buy it back if they don't love it. Maybe you will give them a free sample to try. How do you get people to be hooked on whatever it is that you're doing? Give them a little taste. You go to Sam's Club, they got people at the end of every aisle. In fact, when I was growing up, we were so poor, my mom used to take us to Sam's just so we could all not be hungry. True story. She would be like, we're going to Sam's. They have samples. You guys go get a bunch of samples. You know what? Then she didn't have to take us to Long John Silver's or wherever. True story. And you know what? When they would give us pizza rolls or they would give us, cordon bleu chicken or whatever it was, I still remember the things that she would buy, little personal pizzas. She would buy them because everybody was like, that is so good, Mom, you should get them. Why would she buy them? I'm telling you right now, sometimes it wasn't the best tasting. Sometimes it wasn't the best product. She bought because of convenience. She bought because it would save time. She bought because it would save money. She bought because then she didn't have to cook a whole meal and mess up the kitchen. Think about why people would buy what you're selling. Give them a taste. Give them a sample. Stand behind it. Share your enthusiasm. Share your result and what might happen for them. What if this could work for you? That's what I ask people. What if this could work for you? And I'm about to share with you how I became the master closer. Step number 5 is share your product or share the plan. But my key to financial freedom and momentum was that it doesn't matter how many times you show the plan. If nobody buys, 0 times 0 is 0. Doesn't matter how many products you have in your arsenal. If nobody's buying them, you don't sell any, you don't make any money. At the end of the day, what is your result? You've got to keep score. You've got to know, I'm going to get some sales. And I learned the most magnificent question at an event that my husband went to without me because I was about 9.5 months pregnant. And he was there for one day in Palm Springs. And he called me from Palm Springs, California, and said, Barb, you're not going to believe it. We did these 8 steps last night. I said, Dave, we already know the 8 steps. He's like, no, we really did them. Hours on our dreams and goals, hours on our commitments, hours on the products, hours on showing the plan. And today we're talking about following up and following through. And you guys, not even able to get on a plane, not having any money. The airlines were on strike. My ticket was canceled and I still went and got a different ticket. I ended up in Palm Springs within 24 hours with a $400 convention ticket, sitting next to my husband doing this step. And you guys, it was the most profitable thing I ever learned. It was me going to an event I couldn't afford to go to, spending money I didn't really have at the time to learn something that I had never learned before and put it into practice. And I could close anybody. Get your pens ready, because this is the $1 million question. Following up and following through is the one thing most people don't do. They share the plan, they share the product, but most people, if they don't hear from them, oh, they're not interested. I hate to call them back. I hate to bother them. I don't know how to ask them for their credit card. You guys, do this and watch your checks explode. So if you don't do it within 48 hours, you don't follow up within 48 hours, you might as well take your little nurse kit, look for the little injection that says, don't join my business, and just give them a shot of don't join me. Because after 48 hours, most people forgot everything that you talked about. But if you do it within 48 hours, it's kind of the turbocharged step. And I'm going to tell you, this question will close anyone. If you're selling minivans, use this question. In fact, that's how I learned it, from a car salesman story. He said, the family comes, they don't have any money, they have 2 kids in a stroller, they don't look like they could even afford to get a car, and they're looking at minivans. And you say, what are you looking for? And they say, oh, a minivan. You guys want to know what the question is? Why is that? Why is that? And then you let them tell you every reason why they need the product. Okay, that's part of showing the program or the product or the system or whatever it is as well. But here's the secret. You listen. Tell me more about that. Well, we need a minivan because we have 2 babies and we have 1 on the way. And just let them talk. Oh, really? What color would you like? Do you want new or do you want used? Tell me about your price range. And then here's the thing. When you know what someone wants and you know their situation, you can sell them anything. You can sell them anything. I don't care if it's minivans, dance competition fees, furniture, CBD, weight loss, it doesn't matter. Tell me about that. You're going to let them tell you every reason why they need what you're selling. And when you follow up and you follow through, you ask, so, haven't talked to you since yesterday. Looking back, what excited you most about what you saw? And then you hit your little mute button if you're on the phone and you're like me, because people want to interject. Oh my gosh, we got a free car bonus. We got a cruise coming up. And you're talking to someone that already has a brand new car and it's paid off and they're afraid of water and they never want to go on a cruise. You know, you're talking to someone about your weight loss product and they're literally have an eating disorder and they wish they could gain weight. You're talking to someone about your energy product and this person has so much energy they can't even sleep at night because you don't listen. We've got to listen. What excited you most about the program? Tell me about that. Why is that? Tell me more. Well, what excited me most about the program is that I could actually stay home with my kids and make money. Oh, really? Why is that? Because I would love to see them and I miss the first word or I miss the baby rolling over. Tell me more about that. Well, we have 1 on the way and I work at a retail store every day and we sit in these stores all day. And, you know, I mean, they're telling you every reason why they need your product or your business if you will just listen. Just listen. And I can do an 8-hour training on just follow up and follow through. Dave and I do these boot camps all the time. They're amazing. I can't teach you what I learned at Palm Springs in a 3-day seminar during this hour training, but I can tell you the bullet points. What excited you most about what you saw? Why is that? Listen, push the mute button. Tell me more about that. Tell me more. I love this. So let me ask you a question, Barb. Is there anything keeping you from getting started today? And you guys, the first thing they tell you is always a lie. It's not the truth. They say, well, I need to listen to or talk to my wife and see what she says. You know, well, we are just needing more information. We need to think about it. Oh, really? What is it that's keeping you from getting started tonight? Tell me that. Tell me more. And then they'll actually eventually tell you the real problem. And what I always said is, with my help, do you think we can get you some customers started? And my help meant plugging them into the system or a recording or something, not me. I can't help everybody. I thought I could. And I almost died trying. And then I realized it has to be a system, not me. If your company doesn't have a system to onboard customers and duplicate, you know, you've got to have a system. One time, Dave and I missed a 2-week free trip to Italy just to stay home and record a system. And it was this. It was called the Formula for Success in 1998. We went from a kind of good rank to the top rank in the company. We made a commitment that we were going to focus on our business. We didn't go on a vacation, even though it was free. We didn't go on a vacation. We didn't spend money we didn't have. We focused like a laser beam and we developed a system that everyone could duplicate. And they did. And it worked. And it was amazing when it worked. And the basics are still there, you guys. I don't care where you implement them. Systems might change. People might change. Technology might change. Products might change. But our human instinct is to do whatever we have to do to provide for our family. And people will do what is going to get them there the fastest. So if it's working 2 jobs and they know that'll work, that's what they're going to do. They're not going to commit to your business. If it's eating fast food and that's all they can afford, then you're not going to get them to buy your meal plan, right? You've got to figure out what they want so bad that they would be willing to make a commitment to try, and you're the thing that they're buying. You get me when you join the company. You get me when you buy the product. I'm going to be here to support you, which leads me to step number 7. Help the customer. Help the people you bring on your team. Help the person that buys from you to have a good experience. Follow up with them after. Are you loving the product? Are you loving the car? Are you loving the furniture? Is there anything else I can help you with? Even when I have a renter in our vacation rentals, I'm loving on them after they left because I want a good review. I want them to come back. I want them to share with their friends about my product. And if you just have everybody buying your product and you never built a team, everybody buying your product would be amazing for you. But I love helping people experience success. And if you love people and you love helping people, then this is probably your favorite step. But if you don't like people and you don't like helping people, what you end up with is a job. It never duplicates. You can't really get people to do what you're doing. You might as well be a hamster on a wheel because you're putting people in and people are leaving. You're putting people in and they're leaving. You're getting a new customer and they're quitting. You can't really build an empire if you're building on sand. And you guys, people, most important asset of anything you ever build. Take care of the people however they feel. If they feel good, they're never leaving. If they don't feel good, they're not going to stay. People leave companies, people leave churches, people leave relationships. People quit everything based on how they feel. It's all about emotion, not logic. And if we can make people feel good and support them and encourage them and train them and help them plug into something duplicatable, everybody can do what you can do if they will. That's the secret. Most people won't. And when you use that closing question, what excited you most about what you saw? Are you ready to get started today? Would you like me to ship your product right now? Would you like me to drive and meet you? I have some on hand. Is there anything keeping you from starting today? Oh, really? Why is that? Tell me more about that. And usually they will talk themselves into buying. And if they don't, I say, we've got a program for that. Maybe they use the payment plan that is at checkout. Maybe you tell them, I'll give you the product. If you can help me share it with a few people that might be interested, you'll make some commissions. We'll use that to pay me for the product. Like there's always a way when you're helping the people and you're plugging them into a system. But I became the master closer because I knew what my burning desire was. I made a commitment that I was going to get that. I didn't care how many people I had to help. You help enough other people get what they want, you'll have more than you ever dreamt of. And in the beginning, you might do a lot and you feel like you're not getting paid enough. But in the end, when you're making obscene amounts of money, you'll say, how did I get so fortunate to ever make this kind of money? Because you know what? You'll never know what you made in the first month or the second month or the third month because you'll still be getting paid on it today. And that's the power when you build a residual income. That's the power when you have repeat customers. I can look in Shopify of my traditional business and I can see who's my best customers, who spent the most money with me, who keeps returning, how many times have they ordered. Do you know what? Nurture that. That's just business. And in the industry of direct sales, helping the people you sponsor to have success in depth and width, wherever they are, even if they're not frontline to you, even if you're not making the money up front. Do you know what? People will stick. People will refer other people. People will remember you for life, and it builds a stronger network. People won't always remember what you've accomplished or what you did, but they will never forget the way that you made them feel. And I really believe that is the missing link for most people in this industry. And lastly, step number 8, start the training process and teach the training process. And if you don't have that, you don't have a system. You've got to have something like these 8 steps that I was taught. Because when I would have a problem in my business and I would call my mentor, he would say, Have you defined your dreams and goals? What are your commitments? Are you using the products? Are you sharing the program? When's the last time you shared the program? Duh, Barb. That's why your business is going backwards. You don't have any new flowers in the vase. You don't have any new blood. That's the lifeblood. So you sponsored 10 people. Did you help the people you sponsored, or is that why they're all sitting there like a bump on a log? Did you plug them into the system? Are they getting new people? Are they getting new customers? Are they getting sales? See, it's a formula that you can usually diagnose the disease. It's usually excuse-itis. It's the failure disease. People make excuses. That's why they don't make money. People don't plug in. They don't come to the event. They don't get on the training. They don't listen to the system. They don't teach the system. They don't get everybody going, rowing the boat in the same direction. So you have a boat going in circles because everybody's doing something different. And actually nobody knows what to do because this person's saying this and this person's saying that. And this person's posting this and this person's posting that. And this person's doing 3 things. And this person's trying to get everybody to do 1. And there's too many rules. And you made them feel stupid or you reprimanded them. You guys, you just go be a good version of you. And quit expecting everybody else to be you. When you get better, your whole business will get better. And you'll attract some flaky people. You'll attract some mean people. You'll attract some quitters. But you'll attract some movers and some shakers. And it only takes a few. In our biggest months, even when we had over 100,000 a month in residual income, I only had maybe 8 or 10 people as committed as I was. Keep those people close to you. Take care of your leaders. Form your mastermind group. Tend to those people. Recognize them. Recognition, oh my goodness. Babies cry for it. Grown men die for it. Recognition was always part of our system. One of the most important parts of our system, because we were always most concerned about how we made people feel. And if your company doesn't do that, you build the culture. I know a lot of top leaders, and I could name them all on here, but I don't want to leave one out. They have their own culture within the company. In fact, the number one earner I know in the whole industry, both of them, they have their own events. They have their own culture. They have their own team name. They have their own mastermind groups. They didn't wait on the company to do something. They stood up and said, I'm going to be a leader. And every single one of those people, every single one of you, you have that in you. But if you're not growing and you're not learning and you don't have confidence and you're not taking action and you're not making commitments and you don't believe completely in your product, at the end of the day, you look in the mirror and you know if you believe or not. You know the truth. And the truth is what will set you free. So focus on step number 1. Define your dreams, get a magnificent obsession, a burning desire for their achievement, and then make some commitments. And then go share the product and see what your results are. Then show the program to people, because you guys, it's way different ratio. How many people buy from you, how many people join you, and how many people stay when you're on fire. And most people fail to do the number 1 step. And I'm so grateful that I had a mentor that told me, if you're not going to do this, just get a refund, save yourself the time, money, and energy, because you're not going to win. You're going to fail, Barb, if you don't know and you don't have a 3-month plan, a 90-day, 6-month, 12-month, if you don't have a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan. And even when I went and sat with Jim Rohn for 3 days and did his mastermind group, we took all of our employees, we took our little kids, we sat there with our kids and made them do the steps. Do you know what he spent the first 2 out of 3 days on? Defining your dreams and getting a burning desire for their achievement. And I would say he was probably the greatest philosopher of all time, one of the greatest. And I'm not going to argue with him. Everything my kids wrote down, one became a D1 football player. One got the toy poodle we said you're never, ever. One boy that she had a crush on. True story. When I look back at their journals, it's scary. It's almost like magic what happened. Like, be careful what you write down, because you can be and do and have anything you dream of if you will. And my mentor said, you can do it fast or you can do it slow. And we did it. We replaced our income in 93 days. A bankrupt beautician and a bull rider with no credibility. Nobody should have listened to us. We had the fastest growing team in the company. not just once, but we've done it 3 times. And I hope none of you ever have to start over again and again and again. But if you did, just know if God allows it to happen to you, it's not against you, it's for you. Learn the lessons, regroup, take that knowledge, say, I'm not going to make the same mistake again. Be authentic, go share your story. And remember, people are going to buy you. And when you're on fire, they'll come from miles around to watch you burn. So I hope you've enjoyed this training. If you have, you can feel free to share it with your organization. It doesn't matter what I've ever sold. It's worked 100% of the time for people that would actually work it. So my name is Barb Pitcock. I've loved sharing with you today. And I hope that you got some great value just from me sharing not my system, not even my mentor's system. He actually had learned it from Dexter Yeager, who built the largest organization ever in the world and still holds a lot of records today for the most diamonds, making the most money back in the day when nobody wanted to hear about what they thought was a pyramid scheme or a little soap company. You guys, that system built so many millionaires. And my mentor took it and put it in a company. And then I took it and put it in a company, and it's worked for me. So your results will vary. Your success is not guaranteed, but I hope to read your success story or hear you telling your story from stage or see you publish your book and you just say, I remember the day I learned about these 8 steps to financial freedom. You guys have an amazing day.